Well, the finish hasn't had a coat of wax on it in quite some time. So, and the car's been essentially covered in dust for several years. So, took some rubbing compound to it, and just to get the surface cleaned up. And then I went on top of that with a cleaner wax. And after this, next year, I'll just go with a straight carnauba wax. But I just need to get the surface cleaned up. And a lot of guys use a clay bar and things like that, but I just use a cleaner wax, which is almost like a rubbing compound. But and I did the roof last night. It looks pretty good. Now I'll just kind of work on it a panel at a time. The paint shines up pretty good after a coat of wax. And, overall the paint's in pretty decent condition for a driver, a driver quality car. It's not a concours show car. But, for something to take to a local weekend cruise-in car show, it'll do just fine. Now, one thing about a rubbing compound and a cleaner wax is you have to be careful with it on the decals, because the abrasive in the rubbing compound and the cleaner wax will take all the ink off the decals, so don't want to scrub too hard in those areas. Well, one thing about waxing a car at 3 o'clock in the morning is I'm sure to miss a few spots. So when the sun comes up before it gets hot, I come back and look it over and make sure I get all the wax off. But, so far it's looking pretty shiny. Now, moving along. You see the car has a pretty nice gloss to it. So it's shining up pretty good. I'll just keep moving on. Well, I have the Trans Am all waxed and I have it out in the sun. It's nice and shiny. It's a little early in the morning, so the sun's not at an ideal angle, but it's going to get hot, so roll it out here, show it to you, and then I'll put it away. Well, I have a bunch of still images here. Give you an idea what the car looks like. Paint shined up really nice, and it looks pretty good. As I've been saying, the car is not a concours show car. It's a weekend cruise-in car show car, and just something to drive and enjoy. The engine probably puts out somewhere between 475 and 500 horsepower. Edelbrock heads and intake, Holly carb headers, got a big cam in it. The interior's in decent shape, but that's something I'll look into in the future. I want to, improve the interior a little bit. If you remember, did a bunch of work in the trunk, repainted the inside of the trunk lid, repainted the jams, refinished the trunk, redid the trunk wiring harness, and all that stuff looks pretty good. You know, personally for me, you know, the 70 through 73 cars are the best looking cars. But after that, I think the 74 is the best looking of the post 73 cars. And of course, that's just a personal thing, but that's how I feel about it. It's the last car with the small rear window. And, you know, the front end hadn't gotten monstrous, you know. So to me, it still looks like a pretty nice and pretty sleek car. Well, I think that's going to finish it up for now. And we'll revisit the car in late October, get an exhaust system on it, get it ready for the road, and get out and drive it a little bit. For those of you who have followed along with the channel, and I think this is video number 36, so there's been a few of them, I want to thank you for watching. And if you're new to the channel, you know, maybe go back and check out some of the earlier videos. It's been quite a journey to this point. And, you know, we've come a long way. And very early in this project, you know, I called it a rattle can restoration, and really it is. Anybody can do what I've done to this car. It's not rocket science. So once again, thanks so much for watching. And we'll pick the project back up in October, get an exhaust system on it, and see if we can get it out on the road and enjoy it a little bit.